And we're live. What is up, everyone? Happy Monday. Happy Monday. We are live and alive in the 915. Great to have you guys here. My name is Richie David Marrufo, your MC and host, project director of the Barbed Open Mic series. And, if you're here and at the beginning of the show, first of all, I get to give you props because you're waiting for the show to start. That's awesome. We've been doing this every single Monday since April of 2020. I think that's wild. I mean, I say that, and every week it just gets more spectacular. When everything closed down, we needed a stage, and so we started these online shows. And of course, in that time, we've met so many great people who are also running their own shows, online productions. And if you're just tuning in for the first time, you might get a little glimpse into that world via ours. So we are based out of El Paso, Texas, and the Barbed Wire Open Mic series via BorderSenses, local literary nonprofit. But like it's like any other open mic. If you want to perform, all you have to do is sign up. We will have a link to sign up in the description of our YouTube video. So if you're watching this and it's live, there may be a few spaces still open. The list looks pretty healthy right now, but we do have a couple of no shows right now. So hey, maybe you can get on the list. I always joke around at the live shows that there's this thing called liquid courage, but if you're listening and you feel inspired, and you feel like you have something that you want to share, something that you've written today or last week or 10 years ago, and you feel like you want to share it, this is the perfect space to do so. We do have a pretty full list of performers from not just the El Paso region, but all over the country, all over the world. That's one of the most exciting things about doing these online. And we get to do it from the comfort of our homes, of our couches, of our offices, of our bedrooms. We're here. The rules are simple. Like I said, if you want to perform, all you have to do is sign up. That link is below. But the other thing is we want to support one another. This is above all a platform. So I'm encouraging performers to share their links, any upcoming performances, ways you can purchase books, websites, YouTube channels, anywhere where you post content and people can support your work. I don't have to ask you. After you perform, you're free to share that. Before you perform, you're free to share that. And of course, for all of you listening, I definitely encourage you guys to support because it doesn't cost a thing. It doesn't cost a thing to share, or push that like button on social media. I want to give a shout out to Anthony Bracey. Hey, Brace, awesome singer-songwriter who performs at our live mics. I see you there. Welcome. Good to see you on the live stream. Hello. Yeah, if you guys are tuning in, say hello. One of the hard parts about this is that unlike a in-person show where we can see our audience, this, in this case, the audience is often intangible. We can't see you. We have to imagine you, and sometimes that could be scary or unknown. But you know what? There's so many friendly people who are tuning into the show. So just one of the things I recommend to help out with that is just, say hello in the live chat, leave a comment. If there are any lines that you hear that really strike something with you, strike a nerve, make you feel something, just repeat it. It's really great feedback for the performer, for the poet, something that we encourage people to do in live shows, right? Make noise, clap, snap, cheer, all that good stuff. It's good feedback to know what lines work, and I'll kind of go on from there. I could keep talking for days, and this is the part of the show where I probably talk the most. But I'm going to go ahead and kick off the show and introduce you to all of our performers one by one as I make my way down the list. And as we've had the pleasure to do time and time again, we're going to go ahead and start things off in El Paso. We're just going to go to a different part of town. So I guess we're doing a little bit of traveling still and check in with Robin Schofield, who we're all waiting patiently for the release of her forthcoming book, Ridge of High Pressure. But let's go ahead and start it off with Robin. Hey, happy Monday.
Hey, Richie. Hey, everybody. Happy Monday. Yeah, Ridge of High Pressure is coming out hopefully mid to late September. And yeah, I'm really excited about it. And we'll have a virtual launch on October the 8th. That's a Sunday, and that'll be 3 to 4 Mountain Standard Time. And Kit will be participating in that, and my blurbers, my endorsers will be talking about my work. So that should be fun. It won't all be a boring poetry reading. And then we'll have an open a reading at the Little Temple on November 15th for local peeps, and the Papagayo Club will be reading with me, and that should be a whole lot of fun. So that's what's happening with me. You can find me on Facebook easily enough. So I'm going to read some newly typed stuff. And because my big computer is not working, I typed it up, changed it a bunch of times, and then I wrote it down on a sheet of paper because I couldn't print it out. I'm such a Luddite. So this one is called The Muse of Landscape. Atmosphere, the colors of coyote. Yellowish brown sun flares up in a Martian toned sky. The great Chihuahuan desert rises and rains down, heavy particles and fine that sift through shut windows and doors. Sand, the colors of coyote, brown, gray, tan, tinge of red. Hunger is her best disguise. See her ribcage like walking rain. Voles signal from a yellow hill. Run for your lives, don't tarry under the worm moon. Don't be taken in by the silver sheen of the desert tonight, by atmosphere, the colors of coyote. Oh yeah, here's the other one. And these are all from a new manuscript I'm working on. That was the opening poem, I hope. Who knows, that may change. At the manuscript, I think the working title is Road Work Ahead. And anybody who drives around El Paso knows how that is, where I got that title. So this is called Equinox from Long Ago. We pick out pomegranates, the oldest of fruits. We're going to Lake Travis to swim naked past the sunset. Our goal, to be in the water as it's turning rose and gold, brighter than the faint leaves in the heart of Texas, of the scrub oaks, the evergreen live oaks and cedars, and the persimmons. But don't bite into one too early, or your mouth will shrivel like a peach kernel. The time of peaches long gone with the taste of summer. The time is here of the rose and gold pomegranates, like the one Persephone ate, no stone at the center, in a season of absence. Remember the poem you wrote of autumn equinox, how hungry you were for the fruit. This one is called Shadow. You gave me a gift, just not the one you thought. It was a twisted root, not a flower. It was fresh from the darkness underground. It took me a long time to let go that musky root. I had to split it with an axe to find the light inside. In such a way, you destroyed me, only to find the light inside. Okay, and those are 3 little short poems from my new manuscript. And now I'm going to do my cover poem, and it's my translation of Rilke, Rainer Maria Rilke, the Sonnets to Orpheus. Sonnet, the first series, sonnet number 5. Erect no headstone. Let the rose bloom each year for his grace. Then Orpheus can be his metamorphosis in this and this. We should not trouble ourselves about any other name. One for all time is Orpheus when he sings. He comes and goes. It's not too much when he comes through the Rose Bowl sometimes for a couple of days. Oh, how he must wane so that you understand. And even when he himself fears that he wanes, in that his word surpasses our being, he is barely there for you cannot go along. The grid of the liar does not force his hands, and he complies in that he transcends. Thank you, everybody. And do come to Tumblewords. It's 1 to 3 p.m. on Saturdays, Mountain Standard Time. Hit up Kitrin for the link. And I think most of these poems that are in Ridge of High Pressure and these poems I just read were certainly started in Tumblewords. So if you want to write more poems, that's a great way to do it.
That is an amazing promo, by the way. That's great. Thank you, Robin. Yeah, we need to clip that and post that on the Tumblewords page. I think so many works that have eventually gone on to be published started at some point probably in Tumblewords. I think that's probably worth mentioning. There should be a Tumblewords tax. All I'm saying, can help fund a little bit of what's going on there. But yes, Robin, always great. Thanks for kicking it off. I do want to give a shout out to my homie Roberto Santos, who's an educator as well, How to Rap seminar. He invited some students to listen in today. So if you're one of his students, welcome. Thanks for tuning in. And if you want to join us, you are more than welcome to. We do have a link to sign up under the description of our YouTube video. And that's just if you're listening, because we do have a few people tuning in already. Samuel Wilson, you've been tuning in since the early days. Always such a great supporter. So it's good to see you again, Samuel. We also have Julian. Julian reads from time to time here and has also been reading at our online mic. So it's good to see Julian. Hopefully your semester has started off well. But yeah, if you are in Santos's class, the performance class in particular, you're more than welcome to join us either here online and even in person, where we do have shows throughout the month, pretty much each week that you can hit up. We do have an open mic tomorrow, Tuesday, at Rosewood. That's downtown El Paso, right next to Mono Bar. And we have the last Thursday open mic that we do at Old Sheepdog Brewery. We're pretty much at this point not doing really comedians anymore, so it's going to be music and poetry. It's just easier that way for all sorts of peeps. But the reason why I also mentioned Roberto is because I'm always going to remember one of the best compliments that I remember him saying. Robin had her collection Sunflower Cantos had just come out. And I remember he mentioned, I could teach a whole poetry class with this book. And that's just a true testament to Robin's attention to form and imagery and just a lot of elements you can teach a bunch of students. So definitely check out the upcoming books. And I think it's really cool that we even got a little sneak peek at a feature a book, we got a little manuscript action. That's always exciting stuff. All right. So anyway, I'm going to stop rambling. We're going to go ahead and continue with the show. If you don't know, we start the show as best as we can, about half hour past the top of the hour. And when we open up the room at the top of the hour, we usually have a little green room session where we welcome people in, ideally do a tech check. Sometimes we don't do that. Sometimes we just chat. And today we were getting, a little knowledge from our next performer, doing a little Q&A. It does help that he's the current Beat Poet Laureate of Colorado. So we had some questions being answered. Let's go ahead and welcome from Denver, our very own light host, Mike Sindler. What is up, Mike? Happy Monday.
Good to see you. What an incredible way to open up. And yeah, just because you don't think you can write something like what you just heard doesn't mean you can't come to Tumblewords and do something great that's your own. But boy, was that good. And of course, to the translation, it's like, people just read translations of things and don't really get how much of an artist the translators are. I'm going to start by putting up my little thing that is well worn over 3.5 years now. It says lighthousewriters.org, which is a place I cannot recommend highly enough, no matter what kind of thing you're trying to do as a writer, what kind of genre, whatever level you're at, whatever age you are. You might just find something that can really help you out. So just go ahead and take a look. Okay. I'm going to read one new one and a couple old ones. And the new one. So easy. It would be so easy to go with it, to let it be, to let you try, to love me, the me you think you love so desperately. It would be so easy just to leave my boots outside your door, let you provide the creature comforts and try not to think or ask for more. It would be so easy to sleep in your bed and satisfy, even though my spirit is not in the task, a lie. Even though I told you from the start that love was not nor never would be on the table. It is inertia first that keeps me here. And yes, fear besides, to move off this mountain, roll down into the world, still unstable from my pain. The subject of the bleak black hole in every conversation, every interaction, where all meaning is sucked inside, leaving a vacuum in its wake. What will never be over leaves no room forward. You can never be what I do not ask you to be, but what you want so much to be. And it hurts to see your want, but I am weak. And so another day and another passes still. I make no advances to rectifying the imbalance. Finally, I find resolve, leaving you with the being most dear to me, the cat who brings out your jealousy, because my love for him is pure. I find strength, I find purpose, and set out driving west from all too easy, unsupportable ease, away from all I know, leaving you still thinking there is a way you can yet make me love you, though everything I've done should let you know it isn't true. And that was cheery. So I'll read something else that's a little not quite as bad. And at least several of y'all have heard this before. It's called Smaller Cousin for Joy Harjo. Joy tells me I'm the smaller cousin of the sun. I burst with heat. I warm the world with rhythmic beat. I wither away your lengthening shadows that thin into harmless reflection. I am the smaller cousin. I stand close. You can feel me deep in your chest as we embrace. Skin of your drum vibrating in harmony. We are an expanding, dancing circle. I am the smaller cousin of the sun. I rise, fall, and rise again. You can count on my return. Every moment apart brings me closer once again. I dry your tears with my breath and wait among the clouds, watching as pure rain washes you clean. I'm the cousin of the sun, caressing the curve of the earth, reflecting poetry against the mirror of the moon. Even when you do not see me, I send my message of love from the silvered surface, scythe to circle and rotation. I am the smaller cousin of the sun. I am the brother, sister to your heart. I am the same pounding sound of life and love, the same struggling, triumphant pump, fist size and world encompassing. We are the smaller cousins of the sun, our warmth nurturing each other, reaching out our rays, braiding light into threads, a sheet of pure love to lay across the land and sky. And one last old one. And this is, I think this was published in last year's New Beat Poet anthology, Holes in Space. Sweet child, as you look back in time to see the holes in space where friends and families should be, short lives that should have left longer shadows across experience, kisses, hugs, and lessons never shared, know that they would now embrace you in communion transcending span of days. These holes you see still let in light, pattern woven round them, stitches all to all, echoes flowering sun exhales sweet scent from memory and momentum. They are you, and you contain in you at least a part of them. Those known to you or lost before your arrival. These holes may tunnel down to grief, but they fill with wonder. Oh, child, dear child, do not fear to peer deep and discover marvelous tales that mirror your new trail. Living ones may falter, falling into mourning, dipping arms into openings, attempting to pull last treasures from well of tears. Hold them tight. Do not allow them to fall in and be lost. An occasional drink of salt water passing lips will wake tired taste buds and summon recollection of shared feasts. But these waters of grief do not bubble up to be bathed in. Sweet little one, we wish, as all who have lost will always wish, you could have known or heard the singular spirit encased in each. Lost opportunity deprives us of the sweet and the tender, the hilarious and melancholy character each snuffed candle's once dancing flame contained. Look into the eyes of the living behind puddling saline falls. That candlelight still flickers undimmed. Let them kindle and pass on the incandescence. Let the light that emanates from these holes in space that mark your past, that invisibly led you to now, stay strong. Sweet, dear, gentle child, be all the sum their lost promise allows, for you have life, and that is what their paid price bought, and you are worth it all. And we were talking in that green room. A lot of what we were actually talking about was the beat poets. And not surprisingly, like pretty much everything else in the history of the world, as well as all those male poets that you know so well, there were some great female poets. But of course, because they were females, they weren't known as well. And that's just unfortunately the way the world is. And one of the greatest of them is Diane de Prima, who was just a fantastic poet by any standards. And I'm going to read one, maybe two of hers. First one is City Lights, 1961. Going there for the first time, it was so much smaller then. The crowded downstairs full of poetry, racks of tattered little mags against the wall, those rickety white tables where folks sat reading, writing. Vesuvio's was like an adjunct office. Arriving again a year later, 2 kids in tow, Lawrence gave me a huge stack of his publications. I've got books, he said, like other people have mice. And North Beach never stopped being mysterious. When I moved out there in 1968, that publishing office on Filbert and Grant was a mecca, a place to meet up with my kids if we got separated during one of those innumerable demonstrations. Though Lawrence worried, told me I should keep them out of harm's way at home. I thought they should learn whatever it was we were learning. Office right around the corner from the bead store where I found myself daily picking up supplies. How many late nights did we haunt the store buying scads of new poems from all the corners of the earth, then head to the all-night Tower Records full of drag queens and revolutionaries to get a few songs? And dig it. City lights still here, like some old lighthouse, though all the rest is gone. The poetry's moved upstairs, the publishing office right there now too, and crowds of people 1/3 my age or less still haunt the stacks, seeking out voices from all quarters of the globe. And I'm sorry, I can't help it. I just got to read one more of hers. She's just so good. And this is called Song for Baby O, Unborn. Sweetheart, when you break through, you'll find a poet here, not quite what one would choose. I won't promise you'll never go hungry or that you won't be sad on this gutted, breaking globe. But I can show you, baby, enough to love, to break your heart forever. Thank you very much.
Awesome. Thank you.
Can she write or what?
I see why you can help it there. Thank you so much. And of course, the Lighthouse Writers, you always give it so much promo each single week. Make sure to check that out, guys. Mike Sindler, everyone. What can I say? It's always great to have you often kick off the show as well. All right. So yeah, we visited Mike in Denver. And at this point, we've stuck around in the same time zone. But right now, we're going to go ahead and go to the East Coast for a little bit and tune in with our main man in Maine. That's right. He is a product of the Beardo Bardo of the Bardo. What did I say that? I said that terribly wrong. The Beardo Bardo of the Bardo. We have Generalissimo Brian Franco once again joining us. It's always great when you can make it on. Hey, Brian, what's going on, man? Happy Monday.
Shalom, everyone. Thank you, Richie. I don't know, a little mad these days, so I'll read 3 poems. The other night called "If Narcissus Were Born Blind." I just want to say, I wrote it while Fendel was doing her thing. She has this effortless way of infusing mythological characters into her poetry. And sort of like I always have to look up a new word when Doc reads a poem, I often have to look up some of the mythological characters she puts into her poems, because there are, she just knows so much about it all. So, if Narcissus were born blind. If Narcissus were born blind, would his forlorn destiny have been avoided? If he never bore witness to colors or flowers or reflective bodies of water, would he understand the idea of aesthetic beauty? If Narcissus were born blind, if someone called him handsome, could he comprehend this word as the initiation of his ultimate undoing? If Narcissus were born blind, would his abject fate have found a way to escape into the ether of forever? Without sight, would he somehow know his smooth skin was something for others to envy? Without sight, would he somehow know his silky hair was something not so usual? Without sight, could he comprehend when his mother's friend ran her fingertip over his muscular frame that he was special? If Narcissus were blind, would he have developed his mind instead? If Narcissus were blind, would he somehow have found a way to always be the smartest person in the room? If Narcissus were blind, would he forgo conversations because no one else could provide him intellectual stimulations? If Narcissus were blind, would he retreat to conversations with himself that weren't what he might decide to say to someone else because he was the only person worthy of his attention? If Narcissus were blind, would he have found a way to get lost in the reflection of his voice? He was, after all, the original narcissist. Poem 2 is called "Just Add a Little Pinch." Once upon a time, I did not get overwhelmed by rooms designed for loud, overlapping conversations where I have to yell at the top of my lungs to be heard by someone whose face is an inch from my face, where the idea of an intimate conversation would sound like a macro-aggression arm wrestling match using vocal cords instead of arms if all of a sudden everyone else in the room stopped their screaming. Once upon a time, this guy I had a crush on invited me to the American Ballet Theater in Lincoln Center. The only other ballet I had ever attended was a school field trip to the Nutcracker. Before the ballet, we went to a loud restaurant with jazz playing so loud everyone had to scream to hear each other, which meant we all had to lean in so close it looked like everyone was leaning in for a kiss. The place was famous for its deconstructed Caesar salad with whole pieces of romaine lettuce stacked alternately with shavings of parm sprinkled with black pepper and herbs, topped with a sunny side up quail egg and crispy fried boneless tiny headless anchovies surrounded by a moat of olive oil streaked with a vein of aged balsamic vinegar. The ballet was a modern dance interpretation of Rites of Spring. I never imagined the act of someone dragging their feet could be so sensual. The dancers danced with the fluidity of mercury that had escaped from a thermometer and couldn't decide if it wanted to part ways from itself or stay together. In the meantime, this guy I had a crush on who paid for my dinner was playing footsie with me beneath our seats. I could barely breathe when he smiled and stabbed my soul with his ice blue eyes. We met in Central Park at an Italian ice cart. He stood behind me in a tank top on rollerblades while I couldn't make up my mind what flavor I wanted. He helped me choose a combo pina colada and lemon lime. After he got his, we made all sorts of small talk. We proceeded to exchange digits. I borrowed a pen and paper from the Italian ice vendor. I never thought he'd call me after we met. I was afraid of him, but he invited ballet. It was too much for my brain to interpret as any other dream. Once upon a time, I allowed myself to believe that a too good to be true pinch me, I'm dreaming crush would not leave my psyche with a history repeating itself bruise from the pinch. And this piece I wrote during Ray Jane's recent Cycles workshop last Sunday, which was, I guess, was it yesterday? It was yesterday. It's called You Were More Than Everything. I never thought of you as a badass. You were just Meemaw. You were never just Meemaw. When you were born in Bodrum, Turkey, your given name was Mazel Tov, which means good luck in Hebrew. When you immigrated, it's assumed you were around 6 since there's no birth certificate or passport. You and my grandfather were arranged before the boat left. You married after you turned 18. On the first day of school, there was no ESL. The teacher asked for your name. Another Jewish girl told you the teacher would never say your name correctly. She said, you can use my name, Matilda, which became your legal name. But everyone always called you Mazel Tov, except your closest friends who sometimes called you Hazel. One day, they were at your place playing mahjong. The 1960s TV show Hazel was on in the background. You said, I wish my name sounded more American like Hazel. Unlike all the other women in your circle who were from Turkey, Rhodes, Italy, and Egypt, you spoke close to perfect English. Your English was always a bit broken. At your funeral, the rabbi mentioned that you were a single mother. I never thought of you as a single mother. Single mothers, to me, were either divorced women or women who had unplanned pregnancies. My grandfather died when you both were in your 40s. My father and uncle were respectively 5 and 12. They both served in the military before college and accessed tuition through the GI Bill. You were a single mother. You were a tough-ass disciplinarian. You raised disciplined, smart, ambitious, successful sons. I never thought of you as poor. Some people would say your small, cramped home you and your sons lived in after your husband's death wasn't much, but it was everything to me and my brothers. I never saw it as small, even when we moved from city to city into homes that were at least 3 or 4 times larger. You were more than Mima. You were more than Mazel Tov. You were more than a single mother. You were more than everything you were. You were a badass. Gracias, everyone.
Wow, lovely tribute. Great set, great overall set too. Brian, is there anything you want to promote really quick? How can people follow, support you, any upcoming events, all that stuff?
No, nothing to promote. Just let's promote Michael Sindler being the Colorado Beat Poet Laureate.
Oh yeah.
Because he doesn't, because he wants to be modest about it. So
True. I had to mention that during the show because no one else was going to. Nate, thank you, Brian. Really appreciate that. Thanks for tuning in.
and
with
by
us.
the way,
Yo.
in my line and the thing I said, I am proud to be a beardo bard of the Bardo.
Oh, I see that now. Yeah, there was some
Yes.
yeah.
That's okay. That it was misread, but I wanted to read that I was proud of that. So thank you.
Yeah, we're proud. I'm proud that you're part of that too. I love it. Thank you so much for coming through, Brian. Generalissimo, everyone. Yo, what is up? If you're just watching this right now, if you can see me, if you can hear me, this is our Monday night online open mic. I used to call it the stay at home open mic. It still kind of is. It's kind of like the affectionate nickname I have for it because, stay at home. That's one of the things that we were telling everyone in 2020 to do. And we just wanted to make it like a normalized thing. That's why I started calling it that. But here we're online, we're gathering, we're hanging out. We got people, we got poets from all over the world with us today. So that's always a lot of fun. Again, this is based out of El Paso, Texas, the Barbed Wire Open Mic Series. If you haven't done so already, check us out on social media where we post, in addition to these online shows, our YouTube channel. We just started bringing our podcast back. So we have an episode, I think it was episode 53 with Cassie Elgin Petinato. She is a writer out of El Paso. She's more than that. She does so many great things. She's a musician as well, an artist. She does like those little shadow boxes, she's done a lot of art shows. But yeah, we talked about her chapbook, The Lamb's Tale. She has another book coming out pretty soon. And then we got their double barrel editing action going on right now with 2 new episodes coming out pretty soon featuring Zelene Zuchilt or Rebelene out of, she's from all over the place. She's been living in New York City though. So we talk about a lot of cool stuff in that episode. And Zandra de Luna, Goldblum, and this guy VHS, a DJ out of LA. And he's been doing some cool stuff as well. So anyway, be on the lookout for that. We post that, contents, clips from our open mics, and all sorts of great stuff. Yes, the theremin. Got to give a shout out to the theremin. Cassie plays. She does she played a really cool set with David Romo a couple times. Anyway, we're gonna go and keep this going. So again, if you're watching, just say hello. It's nice to know that you are there. I want to give a shout out to Juliet as well, who is tuning in from Seattle. Shout out to the Pacific Northwest. I was lucky enough to visit last, a little recently for the last AWP that was held in Seattle, and that was a lot of fun. AWPs are always a whole lot of fun. So if you're a writer, definitely worth checking out at some point in your life if you can. Anyway, let's go ahead and continue. So our next performer is going to do some rap, a cappella. That's right. He's originally from El Paso, but he's currently joining us from Lakewood, Washington. Hey, Washington, right? Damian Smith is on Spotify, Apple Music, Pandora, iTunes, pretty much anywhere you can find music online. You can also follow him at Damian Smith Music on Instagram. But right now, you can find him on our YouTube live show. Let's go ahead and welcome him back to the show. Everyone, welcome back, Damian Smith. What's going on, man? Happy Monday. What's up?
What's up? Sorry, it's okay. There it goes.
There you go.
Yeah, first time using the laptop today. Hello everyone. First off, I want to say that like the person that went before me, Brian, that's really incredible. Shout out to you. Like if narcissists were blind, kind of made me think like, are the natural things that we're given at birth a gift or a curse? You know, like his good looks, his muscles, maybe some superficial charm. It was that to his benefit or to his detriment. Then you had a line in the second poem where he said, "Let the eyes stab through your soul." That was really good, and it kind of reminded me of, you know, like when my wife looked at me, like it did feel like she was looking into my soul, like I couldn't really hide. And then the last one, that was beautiful. That was beautiful. It put me in the mind of somebody who going to a new country and who ended up making something of themselves and their family. All right. So good job on that. For myself, I'm doing 2 songs today. They're rap songs, but I'm gonna spit them a cappella. The first one is called Alive. It starts like this. I wasn't supposed to make it past 25. I'm alive and about to be 27. I beat so many demons I could be in heaven in the VIP section. I make my destiny, fuck the canon. Undisputed like Skip and Shannon. I get it first take like Stephen A. I get mine, no time to sit and pray. As long as my heart beats, Amelie beats deceased. I'd go to war for my peace. The little things give me peace. Like a smile from my niece, I buried my blues. I bleed, I bruise, I win, I lose, I breathe, I sleep, I laugh, I weep, I love. Look at me, I am alive. That's the first verse. All right, second verse. Sometimes it feels like my relationships are hanging on by a thread. They treat me like the bakery. They only hit me up when they need some bread. Would they miss me if I died today? I'll probably get a bouquet when I'm in the grave. How many people should I save? I'm grateful for the life that my mother gave me. I am who I choose to be. She held it down like a submission. I go with the flow like electricians. Keep moving forward, Mr. Robinson. I broke down a couple times, but my foundation real strong. So I know I'll last long. I stopped trying to prove them wrong. If they don't like my songs, I left something behind that I could be proud of. I do it for the love. I got back up when push came to shove. I am alive. That's the first one. All right. Let me pull up my little cheat sheet here that I got written down. The next poem is called Fuck Anxiety. So for those who struggle with anxiety and sometimes they're just like, fuck you, anxiety, this one's for you. All right, check it. It's Mr. Struggle with the eye contact. Anxiety is killing me. I'm working on that. You'll only see me slack if I have a ratchet strap. I'm getting worked up. I need to meditate ASAP. I was an awkward ass nerd that got girls with curves. At times I felt I didn't deserve. But when life gives you lemons, make lemonade. My demeanor similar to someone who just got a fresh fade. These other rappers bland like classic lays. They copy and paste. Yeah. What's a droid to a Jedi? I make AI commit suicide. Fuck nail biting and ticks. Lifting heavy weights if I get too anxious. Living in the moment is the ultimate riz. I ain't overthinking shit, dog. It is what it is. Fuck anxiety. That's the first verse. All right. Here's verse 2. Yo. I kill intrusive thoughts. They don't take up space like astronauts on Earth. They think I'm a jerk. They get what they deserve. I swerve. On pessimists, the cancerous, it feels like I'm cheating death. I'm in the Lazarus pit. I have grit and I'll never submit to doubt or fear. Mind over matter, they disappear. I kill beats so easy that it seems that they volunteered. I force choke haters like Vader. If you want beef, I'll cater. Get ready to meet your maker. I have my lightsaber. I'ma slice you up and repent later. Don't they know it's over? I have the high ground. I killed anxiety. I'm cool. I'm not wound up. Consider this track a tune-up. Anxiety don't let up, but I always keep my chin up. thank you guys for listening. Thank you, Richie, for always just hosting, and just thank you for the opportunity, and good luck to all the other performers tonight. Thank you.
Yo, Damien, awesome, awesome. Thank you so much, man. I think I I think it's hard sometimes when you strip all the beats away and just kind of like leave you with the words, and it's fun because there aren't too many spaces I think you can do that sometimes, to just share the words. But you know, we got an open mic where you can. But thank you for sharing that. As I mentioned, I think last week there's a lot of literary elements that you can pull from hip hop. You know, I think a lot of people tend to dismiss that right away. With that said, I do want to promote. I think you follow them, but for people watching as well, I definitely, you know, one of our like community partners is Rap Seminar. That's run and hosted by Roberto Santos. He's the former project director of BWOMS, actually. And he went on started a rap school called Pendulum Inc. And he had some features too in the City Magazine, which was fun because it featured, you know, a whole open mic segment as well. But check it out because with
Cool.
Pendulum Inc. and Rap Seminar, you know, they do all sorts of workshops as well, you know, dealing on different parts of the craft, you know, and they bring in guests from like big time recording artists and performers. So it's definitely worth checking out. I wanted to take that opportunity to just kind of bridge that world. So for those of you who are watching, it's another great opportunity to work on the craft. It's fun because I hear it in your stuff. You know, you got all the pop culture allusions, references, you know, that are fun.
Yeah.
That are some of my favorite thing when listening to hip hop. You know, the little kind of funny wordplay. Thank you, Damien. Appreciate
Really
that.
really like a time capsule. Thanks for the connects.
For sure. Yeah, definitely check him out. Yeah, I'll also forward your profile to him. But you can check out Damien Smith Music on Instagram. Check out what Damien's got going on, and check out his music as well on Spotify, Apple Music, you know, wherever you listen to music. All right, let's go ahead and keep things going. Everyone, once again, welcome to the online mic. We're gonna go ahead and go from Washington to, well, let's see where she put today. A layover on the river Styx, returning from Hades Town. Oh, that's quite the journey. Will we get some melodies? Let's find out. But according to her, she's doing her best to behave. No, not really. If you know, you know, we got some poetry and rambling. Welcome, the one, the only, the amazing, spectacular Finn Bell. What is up, Finn? Happy
Hey.
Monday. What's up?
Monday. Yeah. Everything's up and some things are down. I don't know. It's all good. Hi. So I'm going to first sing badly for you guys. This is one of my favorite songs to sing. It's from a Broadway musical. And I like to sing it when I'm feeling a little tongue-in-cheeky about certain things, you know, taking yourself too seriously. You know, let's just poet and create and less razzmatazz and hypey hype. Yeah. Okay, so here it goes. Whenever I see someone less fortunate than I, let's face it, who isn't? Less fortunate than I, my tender heart tends to start to bleed. And when someone needs a makeover, I simply have to take over. I know exactly what they need. And even in your case, though it's the toughest case I've yet to face, don't worry, I'm determined to succeed. Follow my lead. And yes, indeed, you will be popular. You're gonna be popular. I'll teach you the proper poise when you talk to boys, little ways to flirt and flounce. Ooh, I'll show you what shoes to wear, how to fix your hair, everything that really counts to be popular. I'll help you be popular. You'll hang with the right cohorts. You'll be good at sports, know the slang you've got to know. So let's start, because you've got an awfully long way to go. Don't be offended by my frank analysis. Think of it as personality dialysis. Now that I've chosen to become a pal, a sister, an advisor, there's nobody wiser, not when it comes to popular. I know about popular, and with an assist from me to be who you'll be, instead of dreary who you are. There's nothing that can stop you from becoming popular. La, 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 la. We're gonna make you popular. When I see depressing creatures with unprepossessing features, I remind them on their own behalf to think of celebrated heads of state or specially great communicators. Did they have brains or knowledge? Don't make me laugh. They were popular, please. It's all about popular. It's not about aptitude. It's the way you're viewed. So it's very shrewd to be very, very popular, like me. And though you protest your disinterest, I know clandestinely you're gonna grin and bear it, your newfound popularity. Woo. La, 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 la. You'll be popular, just not as popular as me. Woo. Yeah. All righty. That was a little cathartic right there. Thank you. All righty. Okay, so speaking of Brian saying about my love of mythology, this poem is going to contain mythology. So this is called Mintaka. Mintaka refers to the star seed with the affinity to water, possessing great power of healing and premonitory dream visions. Mintaka is also one of the brightest, most visible stars in Orion's belt. So here's a bit of interesting trivia. Orion, in some Greek mythology accounts, was the hunter who unfortunately raped a princess named Marrufo when her father, King Enepion, rejected him as a suitor. So the long story short is Zeus, dumbass, the supreme and notoriously most rapey god in the Greek pantheon, rewarded Orion by making him a hero, immortalizing him in the constellations. Go figure. So here's the poem. Sit here now, hear this story, the day I reincarnated mortal flesh, molting fin and sugar glass bone, landing starship upon a Monday evening's diet planet. Sonar wave Rhea, awaken Titan sea, my plumed prideful fishtail, ruin my smeared gash lip. Vermilion brilliant, breaking a winning streak. It was in this instance you bellowed, stunned, smitten, I paused. There was nothing laced in the impending icebergs melting in my drink. Here I birthed practice of copying down misshapen excuses sent in my direction on the wake of frenzied moving water. Poseidon's bow, slipshod cocksure proclamation, you asserted unbending even then. Brine and Tang murmured back. Who between the two of us was bothering to keep count, to number days in correct order, when I was already tracing the maddening shape your lips took to round out its vowels to soften their frantic release in my direction? You consciously dimmed your flame, this flame inside your hurricane lantern chest. You cupped long fingers to surround it, to guard it, to keep me from deciphering it, while your essence, your combustible you, kiss between our untended gaps, your fire not wanting to churn vaporous, deplete my approaching whirlpools, my water not wanting to douse you, so wanting to swallow you whole, not wanting to want you, wanting you. I felt the newness of how my bare skin screamed beneath the siren scale, rapturous holy fire, where you singed it at that very first time. I remember us awakening the fall in November. I remember us quickening rebirth in December. I remember us come July, seasoned to the season's changes and impatient to cast out pretense of distance and cold. How the hot wind chafe of your touch testing your come-ons, pressed down unyielding gust on my throat and cheeks, summer fling sweltering blistered. Freak occurrence, dog day squalls, you never hung around too long. Your destination then far abroad, scattered and untold. I had known in Mintaka, spirit ascending, I would gift you my devotion. I would rainfall you my patience, coax poppies forth from the cracks of you, desiccated earth of you. Nexus birth soul, it was in this place we created comprehension dawning. We witnessed the way we halted the tumbleweeds rolling in their southwest wandering. We rooted in oasis, became wildflowers of every riotous color, burgeoning life into the desert. In those days, I sang the sea, sleepy, sexated, drunk for you, and she pulled the moon's phases erratic to echo you, to greet you, sunrise Helios mounting to hold you, to save you, sunset Icarus plummeting. The leaves turn to gold-hued rot. Proserpina somnambulant ascends through snowdrift, a Mayflower head erupts. Soaring is a motion reversed, achieved upside down. The ground is the sky. You bore not a solitary care as your violet rays rip the sky bare to embrace you, to rescue you in your nightly downfall. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you for reading that. And before we move on, is there anything you'd like to promote or share before upcoming events, vocabulary events, or any of your awesome projects you're part of?
I have karaoke and trivia tomorrow with my karaoke night, which is called Loose Lips Sync Karaoke Ships. And the theme for tomorrow is When Life Hands You Lemons. What do you make? I don't know. Lemon tonic something. So yeah, tomorrow it's 6 p.m. Pacific, and I'll put all that in the chat. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. All right, let me go ahead and switch the spotlight over here. We got a song today. That was awesome. I liked that. I hadn't heard it in a while, so I had like some nostalgia. I'm like, I remember this. But that was well done, as always. Thank you, Finn Bell. We'll get a link right now to your link tree and share that to all our awesome peeps on YouTube. Everyone on YouTube, thanks for tuning in once again to our online show. We do this every Monday, so if you want to share some of your own work, come on through. The water's fine. We welcome any kind of work, whether it's new, you wrote it this morning, you wrote it yesterday, or it could be anything that you have written like a decade ago. You can dust it off. And also, if you can't tell, we also welcome the cover poem. It's always a great opportunity to introduce an audience to other poets, that have already kind of been around, and some of our favorites. So with that said, we're going to go ahead and continue on, and let's see, go from Finn Bell to South Euclid, Ohio, West Coast to Ohio. And let's go ahead and welcome to the stage Poet Maester Doc, who is right there on the screen. I see you, Doc. Tag, you're it. Go ahead and take it away.
It, huh? Okay. Not cousin It, though. I don't look like him. I'm reaching back into my past for tonight's poetry. This title one is titled The One Who Looks for You. And there's an epigraph. All night long I write to look for the one who looks for me. It's from the poem Paths of the Mirror, which is in Removing the Stone of Madness by Alejandra Pizarnik, an Argentinian poet. I also write to look for you in the vastness of the night. I reach out to feel your echo as I seek through time and space. I listen in loneliness to hear your soul as it cries with ageless longing. I see your angst with my longing psyche as it mirrors my empty self. I seek for you, eternal love, as I move through gathering dark. Samsara, ever-turning wheel, of what do you speak? Tell us of time, the endless cycle. Tell us of life, the karmic circle, birth and life, death and rebirth. Are these foretold, inevitable? What is the meaning? What are the lessons? Do we learn all at entropy's end, or does it begin all over again? And finally, I am called. I am called by mountains, seas, and forests. I am called by stars, galaxies, and the multiverse. I am called by other worlds and dimensions and the infinity of time. They call to me in all the known and unknown languages of everywhere and every when. They call to me to new monk. They call me to a place of dreams, a place of love, a place of peace. They call me to a place amid the circle of all, to the place of karma's end, to a place where I become. Thank you. And the French phrase "tu nous manques" means you are missing from us.
That was beautiful.
All right, thank you, Doc. I wasn't sure if you're you're looking for another one there. Do you have any events or anything you want to promote as well before we move on?
The only thing major coming up is on September 9th, September 19th. I am going to be reading for the final celebration of Notre Dame College of Ohio's centennial year. And for that, I wrote a 100-line poem. So if anyone is in the Cleveland area, it's free and open to the public. Come on down.
All right, cool stuff. That's 100 lines, huh?
100 lines for their centennial.
I've been to a couple fun parties like that. I mean, yeah. What's up? That sounds like fun. Thank you, Poet Maester Doc, Poet Laureate there of South Euclid, Ohio. All right, let's go ahead and keep this night going. What is up, everyone? Once again, welcome to the online show. We're going to go ahead and bounce around, move around from coast to coast. Well, that's not even a coast. What am I doing? But it's been a while, and since we've had our next performer, Keith Marr is a fifth-generation Chinese-American spoken word poet, a psychotherapist, and multicultural lecturer who uses poetry to ask questions about race, identity, self-love, and social justice. Keith believes that spoken word can comfort, heal, and confront the past and the present, build bridges between communities, celebrate roots, and inspire a sense of social connection at a time that our culture is urgently in need of it. Beautiful people of our online world, let's go ahead and welcome to our stream, Keith Marr. What is up? Welcome back to the show, Keith.
Thank you for having me. I'm honored to be here. I want to apologize. I gave you such a long bio, and you were a trooper and hung in there. But oh man, halfway through, I was thinking, oh, I gave him too much to say. Anyway, having said that, so I was asked recently by the local Unitarian church to do a poem for I don't know what it is exactly. I should find out, but I think it's kind of like an earth celebration of the earth. And I thought, I'm just going to do one of my favorite pieces, an oldie but goodie that you guys will recognize. And I just like it. I love listening to it. I love saying it. I love that it encourages everybody to embrace their story, and find the courage to live life to the fullest. So I'm going to do an oldie but goodie. I hope it brings you a nostalgia. So this is Anis Mojani's Shake the Dust. So here it goes. This is for the shy girls. This is for the little brothers. This is for the schoolyard wimps and the bullies that tormented them, for the former prom queen and for the milk crate ball players, for the nighttime cereal eaters and for the retired elderly Walmart storefront door greeters. Shake the dust. This is for the benches and the people sitting upon them, for the bus drivers driving a million broken hymns, for the men who have to hold down 3 jobs simply to hold up their children, for the nighttime schoolers and for the midnight bike riders who are trying to fly. Shake the dust. This is for the 2-year-olds who cannot be understood because they speak half English and half God. Shake the dust. For the boys with the beautiful, beautiful sisters, shake the dust. For the gym class wallflowers and the 12-year-olds afraid of taking public showers. For the kid who is always late to class because he forgets the combination to his locker. For the girl who loves somebody else, shake the dust. For the ones who are forgotten, the ones the amendments do not stand up for the ones who are told, speak only when you are spoken to and then are never spoken to. Speak every time you stand so you do not forget yourself. Do not let one moment go by that doesn't remind you that your heart beats 100,000 times every single day and that there are enough gallons of blood to make every one of you oceans. Do not settle for letting these waves settle and for the dust to collect in your veins. This is for the poetry teachers and for the people who go on vacations alone. For the sweat that drips off Mick Jagger's singing lips and for the shaking skirt on Tina Turner's shaking hips. For the heavens and for the hells through which Tina has lived. This is for the tired and the dreamers, for those families that will never be like the Cleavers, with perfectly made dinners and sons like Wally and the Beaver, and for the big house jail sentence cats becoming redeemers, and for the springtime that somehow seems to show up right after every single winter. This is for every one of you. This is for you. Because just like the days I burn at both ends, and every time I write, every time I open my eyes, I am cutting out parts of myself simply to hand them over to you. So shake the dust and take me with you when you do, for none of this has ever been for me. All that pushes and pulls, pushes and pulls, and pushes and pulls, it pushes for you. So grab this world by its clothespins and shake it out again and again, and jump on top and take it for a spin. And when you hop off, shake it again. For this is yours. This is yours. Make my words worth it. Make this not just some poem that I write, not just some poem, just like another night. Walk into it. Breathe it in. Let it crash through the halls of your arms like the millions of years of millions of poets, coursing like blood, pumping and pushing, making you live, shaking the dust. So when the world knocks at your front door, clutch the knob tightly and open on up and run forward and far into its widespread greeting arms. With your hands outstretched before you, fingertips trembling, though they may be. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing that piece. And how can people follow and support you online, Keith?
Well, I'm on Facebook under my name, and I'm also on IG at Enter the Poet.
Enter the Poet. That's a great. I love that.
Thank you.
Cool. Well, thank you for sharing that stuff with us today. And you're welcome to join us any Monday, by the way, whenever you have a chance.
I will do that.
All right. Awesome. Thank you, Keith. Everyone, go check them out. All right, we're gonna keep this going. We're gonna go ahead and come back to El Paso for a little bit, Texas for a little bit. And as we've done since day one, the day one where we were already been online, the untelevised pilot of this whole thing. He's been here for every single one of these. And he's done so much more. So again, we do have our YouTube channel. If you go back, all of these shows are archived, and something that's been incredibly helpful is if you go back and want to revisit the shows, you can go to his timestamps, which he's left in the comments. Hence what we call him Mr. Monday Night. Let's go ahead and welcome to the show, Kit Wren. Kit, go ahead and take it away.
Will do. Thank you, Richie. Thank you, everyone. Hi, hello, how are you? Oh, gonna do something a little different. Gonna highlight the non-poetic project that I have going on every football season. Because every Monday night I read up a different game in NFL history. And I take the two teams from the Monday night game and pick something in the past to relive and write about and watch unfold with new excitement and new horror when it all goes wrong. And I'm not going to take it through whole things, but I'm going to read you basically 3 paragraphs, 2 from one and 1 from another. And I'll drop a link in the chat to each one. One of the ones I ended up writing up last year was the very first win of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, which came in their 27th game, unfortunately, against the Saints. But once they had a great defense, but they had a complete null set on offense. But they finally, it all came together one day and they beat the Saints 33-14. And so we'll take it from the last 2 paragraphs. With Bobby Scott, the Saints backup quarterback, having poured water on a grease fire, Archie Manning was forced to come back in, but he came up groggy after yet another hit by defensive end Leroy Selman and came back out after one play. Since it was 1977 and the concussion protocol was still 40 years in the future, Manning would come back in and run for the first Saints score of the afternoon. But there was one last indignity he had to face. Passing out of his own end zone, Archie had his own pass batted back into his helmet by Glenn Robinson, and the ricochet landed in the arms of Greg Johnson for a defensive touchdown. The Buccaneers, still novices at celebrating, all took turns spiking the ball and catching it. As Manning led one last meaningless touchdown drive, his own words were thrown back at him as Bucs defenders kept shouting disgrace like mynah birds in a disturbing and recriminating dream. The Buccaneers had won their first game in franchise history, 33-14, scoring more points than they had in the previous 7 weeks combined. Legend has it that Hank Stram had the film of the game burned rather than watch it again. He was fired the next week and never returned to coaching. The reaction to this win, the first in Tampa Bay history, was incredible. 8,000 fans were waiting for the team at the airport and followed them all the way to team offices, not sure what to do with this new feeling. John McKay, the coach, took a megaphone and confirmed what the throng suspected. It was the greatest victory in the history of the world. This is a habit I could get accustomed to. The commissioner, Pete Rozelle, called with his congratulations. Fans in other stadiums cheered when the score came across the loudspeaker. Howard Cosell led with it in his Monday Night Football halftime highlight segment, pushing all the complicated playoff picture to the back of the stove. There are cliches that ring hollow until they are suddenly applied to a world in motion, and then these old phrases become something alien and vital, can even seem like a new continent. The 1-26 Buccaneers made everyone relearn what the thrill of victory is, made them think that they had just figured something out and needed to spread it. Maybe they did. Perhaps we are all constantly in a state of relearning what even one victory can do. And another great one. Wrote up last year's season opener. I wrote up a Seahawks Broncos game, one where there was an illegal hit on Steve Largent that knocked him out of the game. And later in the season, Largent took revenge on that specific player. He took it. He saw his chance. He let in a clean, brutal hit. Sent the guy who had knocked him out earlier in the season, lost 2 teeth, flying. Largent, who's a Hall of Fame receiver, held some records, has called that his favorite play of his career. And that got me started on this whole thing about revenge. Should I do that? Everyone else has gone over time. I would too. Okay. Now I'm just gonna. Yes, and Elway, of course, would have his revenge on Brian Bosworth for his horse-face comments simply by outlasting him. The Boz was out of the league by 1990. And Elway is in the Hall of Fame, and Brian Bosworth today is the sheriff of Fansville, many miles away from Canton. And for those who say the best revenge is living well, Dave Craig outlasted his supposed replacement in Kelly Stouffer by 6 years, bouncing around with 5 more teams and not retiring until 1998. And Elway's last game was in January 1999, a 5th Super Bowl appearance and 2nd Super Bowl victory, this one over a Falcons team coached by Dan Reeves, the man that Elway was convinced had nearly ruined his career for yet another act of vengeance. And how Bosworth, Reeves, Craig, and Largent must have all laughed at Super Bowl 47 when the Seahawks beat the Broncos 43-8, with mortified Denver general manager John Elway looking on from the press box. This is what a life in football can do for you. It can act as a perpetual machine delivering synthetic revenge. Every game is a rematch. Every action follows Newton's law, and every reaction fulfills Chekhov's gun. And consider the advantages of synthetic revenge over the so-called real thing. Real revenge is expensive, all-consuming, alienating, complicated, subject to penalties under law, and once achieved will leave you at loose ends, feeling like a corn husk with no tamal. No, we must not imagine the Count of Monte Cristo satisfied. His decades-long machinations had come to an end and had not relieved his pain. He was tired at best. Friends and beloveds, we don't need to do any of that shit. We only need to watch, wait, and remember. It's a cycle that never ends. But nevertheless, let us begin. Can tell what I'm excited for. I'll even watch a UTEP game. I don't care. Neither does the coach, so it's fine. Dana Dimmel, you're on my shit list, Dana Dimmel. Ruined my Saturday. And now for the cover, I'm gonna go with Berryman by W.S. Merwin. I will tell you what he told me in the years just after the war, as we then called the Second World War. Don't lose your arrogance yet, he said. You can do that when you're older. Lose it too soon and you may merely replace it with vanity. Just one time he suggested changing the usual order of the same words in a line of verse. Why point out a thing twice? He suggested I pray to the muse, get down on my knees and pray right there in the corner. And he said he meant it literally. It was in the days before the beard and the drink, but he was deep in tides of his own through which he sailed chin sideways and head tilted like a tacking sloop. He was far older than the dates allowed for, much older than I was. He was in his 30s. He snapped down his nose with an accent I think he had affected in England. As for publishing, he advised me to paper my wall with rejection slips. His lips and the bones of his long fingers trembled with the vehemence of his views about poetry. He said the great presence that permitted everything and transmuted it in poetry was passion. Passion was genius, and he praised movement and invention. I had hardly begun to read. I asked, how can you ever be sure that what you write is really any good at all? And he said, you can't. You can't. You can never be sure. You die without knowing whether anything you wrote was any good. If you have to be sure, don't write. That's just one man's opinion. You can do what you want. You can write whatever you want. Oh, but that's all for me. But we got a little bit of business to take care of. Instagram, Kit Ran Away. Twitter at Kid Talk Sports. For more of that lovely little football blog, if that's what tickles your fancy, that's available at kofi.com/KitRen. There's even a mechanism by which you can pay me for my considerable efforts. Find me on Facebook, easy enough. You can send me an email, easy enough. You can drop something in the tip jar at PayPal, easy enough. The world's so easy these days. When did that happen? You know? And everyone's still bitch. Everything's easy. Come on, think about it. Speaking of easy, the Tumblewords Project will be taking it easy this Saturday. Labor Day weekend, Gene Debs, Joe Hill. Nothing they did was in vain. So we're going to take the weekend off, but we will be back on Saturday, September the 9th, when our presenter will be Heather Franklin, who will have a themed workshop around Banned Books Week, something she participates in the various events every year very seriously. We're very happy to have her back, and she also has a new collection coming out, so it's a cool opportunity for her too. But that is all I have to plug for the moment. I have begged Richie's forgiveness and indulgence because I was not watching the clock, but he's a forgiving sort. So take it back.
Awesome, man. Yeah, no, I was just gonna play another edition of what t-shirt is Kit wearing today? I'm like, what college team is that? Just kidding.
Horse on a treadmill.
No, shout out to all of the, check out Tumblewords. I'm glad that you got to read a little snippets of your essays. I think it's really fun writing, and it was kind of cool to hear them in this space because there were moments where you're transforming them into your pro style of reading. That you were bringing out certain passages in that way that you do when you perform. Anyway, because obviously you're performing them. Yeah, so check those out. I did share the links on YouTube, so those of you who are there right now, you can check it out. We're going to go ahead and continue on to Levelland, Texas. And let me see if there's any notes. Nope, no biographical notes or anything. Just we will know fear in a handful of dust, or in this case, lungs of dust. Let's go ahead and welcome back to the show, the one, the only Lungs of Dust. What's up? Hey.
Hey, Richie, what's up? Can you hear me okay?
Sure can.
Yeah, awesome. So I have a couple of things to read today. Couple mine, actually I have a few, I guess. I have a couple mine and then I'm gonna do a cover. So this first one, it's called I'm Dreaming My Life Away. All right. I'm dreaming my life away, drifting off with these thoughts that maybe love exists somewhere, and how I wished I was there, watching, protected behind its windows, with an embrace as warm as any blanket that's ever touched my skin on winter mornings, and kisses sweeter than any dessert that's ever touched my lips. I'm off in these daydreams of love that utter words that bring me to my knees, and our gazes are all that we need. I really wished I was there, existing next to that love, but I'm on the other side of its windows, longing for that warmth of togetherness, no matter the season. Instead, I'm driving down every road looking for whatever I was born without. Instead, I'm thirsty in this desert of love. And the only time it brings me to my knees is the mercy I beg. I've never been much of a beggar, but I'm inches away from the streets of hell, a hell that closes the door of love forever. Look at me, talking big and brave, like I'm not a fool dreaming my life away. Did you like that one, Richie?
That was a journey. I was like, oh, this is nice and peaceful. And then you took us somewhere.
Sorry. This one is teeny tiny. It's untitled. All right. I dragged my pain inside. I let it take whatever form it wanted. I let it tear apart my insides. Go rampage, friend. I let it shatter everything. If only I had porcelain skin, it could take me to dust sooner, and I could blow with the wind forever and make no noise on my journey, just like the night I dragged my pain inside. That one is the last one of mine. And then I'm gonna do a Maya Angelou one. I've shared this one before, but I don't think I've ever done it on here, but I've shared it online before. It's called Touched by an Angel. We, unaccustomed to courage, exiles from delight, live coiled in shells of loneliness, until love leaves its high, holy temple and comes into our sight to liberate us into life. Love arrives, and in its train come ecstasies of old memories of pleasure, ancient histories of pain. Yet, if we are bold, love strikes away the chains of fear from our souls. We are weaned from our timidity. In the flush of love's light, we dare to be brave. And suddenly we see that love costs all we are and will ever be. Yet it is only love which sets us free. And that's it. That's all I got this week.
Awesome. Yeah, that was a great set. I love it. And also awesome earrings, by the way.
Thank you. They were a gift.
They're rocking. Oh, very nice, very nice. Anything you want to promote right now? Where people can follow, support you?
You can follow me on Instagram if you want. It's Lungs of Dust. I just try to share just whatever I'm up to. But yeah, that's all. That's all I got.
Yeah, and as I like to say, that was not just all, that was everything. Es todo. Thank you. Yeah, es todo. Anyway, it's all cool, Walla. We're gonna keep this show going. Sorry, I don't know how I said that. That was cheesy. All right, we're going to keep going. Once again, everyone, welcome to the online open mic. We do this every Monday. If you want to join us, all you have to do is sign up. There's usually a link to sign up in the description of this YouTube video. You can subscribe to our channel. You can also check out our link tree. Our link tree is where we post the link to sign up every week. It's the first place we post it. And if you subscribe, you can there's a little subscribe button in our link tree, and you can sign up with your phone or email. And pretty much as soon as I put that link, I put it out to the people who are subscribed so they can sign up as soon as they have a chance. All right, we're gonna go ahead and go from Levelland, Texas to Washington, DC. And you already know what's going on. We already know who it is. We already know who it be. That's right. It's the one, the only. It's the Eddie P, Mr. Eddie, Poetastic, feeling so fantastic on this Monday night. Ed, go and take it away.
Thank you, my brother. Like Noah with words like thunder. Sorry for my my demeanor. I lost a good friend these past few days. He was more than a friend. He was a brother. I understand people want me to grieve, but grief is emotion that shows us how a deeply departed loved one impacted our life in so many different ways. That was Nick. He was always the life of the party, and he was always a bright in our darkest skies. I know I will miss him, but I always cherish the memories we have with each other. So I know his soul is resting in peace. All right. But I know I should be a little bit depressed, but if he was right behind me or right beside me, he would say, be a man. So we had to live for the both of us. Hello, my name is Ed Potastic, hope feeling fantastic. Please get in time to enjoy my rhyme for awful sublime. I got 3 poems, so you know it would take too much time. My first poem is called Gray Haven. So you sailed away to greener days. What can I say? You're my way. Now I'm astray, basking in your ray, drinking the frigid gray, heart-empty alleyway, cracking the clay of tears I couldn't slay. I pray and pray and pray that you're okay. You quickly decay, memories won't sway, living for you every day, you won't fade away. So here, now, and today, let's enjoy, live, and play. Now you're on full display. You don't have to fly away. Thank you. I got another one. This is called I'm sorry. This is called My Brother. My brother. My brother, you're never alone. Your tools are with me. You don't make it full of iron and stone. Be plentiful, balanced, and free. My brother, stay healthy and strong. Keep building your tree. It doesn't matter how long. Make it fast, crisp, and endless like the sea. My brother, stay honest and true. Be luminous light in the abyss. Let your words stick as white glue. Let it fuel our inner breathing wish. My brother, I know life isn't so kind. It's rough. Doesn't mean you have to be. Help us spot the annoying landmines. Make us a new lens in order to help us live and see. My brother, be the shade for the blazing sun. Build us land to stand on. Tell us to use our tools instead of guns. Help nurture our minds and bodies to stay strong. My brother, surpass your limits, to break the glass ceiling. Give us wings to live, strive, and fly. Teach us more than mindless killings. Give us stepping stones to be more than just a guy. My brother, I love you, even if I don't know your name. Right now, I'm a part of you. No, don't think that way or be ashamed. I trust you. You know what to say and do. Thank you. And a little piece to say least to go inside your crease. This is called Grieving Gun. Full of a name, a foggy mind. Common sense tossed in flames. Innocence corpses left behind. A pool of crimson, a flood of emotions, a frigid hungry gun, names tossed in the ocean, a crying monster, a trail of blood, remorse from a butcher, stings from a billion suns, empty flaming hearts, a river of tears, guilt shooting darts, the silence are here, a collage of faces, time stands still, dark empty spaces, the inhumane chills, screams of justice, silence of deaf ears, ignorance is bliss, sadness draws near, mirrors in twilight, words left unsaid, darkness in hindsight, regrets left dead. Tears in the streets, low with angels, bodies covered in concrete, feet full of anvils, lives taken away, coffins become full, days of decay, one bloodthirsty fool. Funerals on display, ceremonies in black, mean emotional heart attacks, crying hearts crack, echoes of disarray, callers of pain, flowers on altars, many grieving families, legends of slaughter, many deep sympathies. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Ed. First of all, I think you can see it here in the chat. our condolences, and that's also a sweet tribute. Second of all, you don't have to ever have to apologize for your feelings, just feel them out. We're here for you, and this is the space to do it as well. So I think thank you for sharing all this. Yeah, love you, man. I wish I could give you a hug right now.
Thank you. I love you too. Thank you for making me feel every color but blue. And thank you for pushing through. Remember that we love you.
Awesome. Thank you, Ed. And as always, we look forward to seeing you. I know if people aren't following you, they can follow you on Facebook, right? And Instagram.
Oh, sure. I forgot
Yeah.
my little speech to
You know-
say the least. If you want to follow, please support this wonderful open mic that makes our money life such a delight in the wonderful, fantastic spotlight. But if you want to follow me, please for free. My Facebook name is Eddie Foreman, and my IG is Eddie Foreman 92. And remember, the mic is right. I'll be there to shine my fantastic insight. If you send me requests, the answer is yes. Hope everyone stays safe, healthy, and blessed. And never stop spewing one words outside your chest. Now stop feeling and being your best. And always remember that you are important more than you ever know.
Thank you. I love that. Thank you for adding that there at the end. That's love. Beautiful, beautiful. Ed Potastic, everyone. You're such a light to us, too. So hey, stick around. We got the after party. We're almost done, but stick around, let's hang out, we'll chat it up, live in memories. It's always a good way to remember people too, right? But yeah, Ed, everyone, Washington DC, a regular to this channel, a staple. Like if he's another person that if like he's absent, we're worried, like there's something wrong and we need to like be calling people. That's there's a truth to that, um anyway, what I was saying too applies to everyone listening right now. Don't ever we never want you to have to apologize for your feelings. Feel them out, experience them, feel them through. And if you need support, you've got that here. Just reach out. Yeah. Because I know you do the same for so many others too. So it goes right back to you. All right. So I think that's the list because we did have a couple people sign up, but probably couldn't make it. So shout out to those people. Remember, this is every Monday, so there's no pressure. If you need to take a Monday off, that's cool. Or if you've never done this but want to try it, then join us next Monday. I want to give a shout out to Jenny as always for supporting and tuning in for the call. Anyone who was sticking around a little bit, and those of you who check it out during the week after we've already done this. I know so many of you catch us afterwards. I know so many of you listen to us like a podcast while you guys are doing other things. So I just want to give my thanks and share my love to all of you as well who support in that way. Thank you so much. I'm grateful for that. All right. So, and like I said, if you're ever in the El Paso area, I heavily encourage you to check out any of our live shows. I definitely want more poets to come out and share their work. That's what we need to promote more of, and that's what we want more of. And if you're a musician as well, we'd love to hear you. All right. So with that said, we're gonna end things as we often do in the 915. It is time for the closer, the call to the bullpen. Now, look, I'm a Yankees fan, so I'm not really feeling baseball season right now. It is going so bad right now for the Yankees. But it's okay. You know what? We've had a lot of success. But yeah, it's been a rough season. Anyway, the Yankees had a one-time, all-time legendary closer by the name of the Sandman, Mariano Rivera. And whenever you heard Enter Sandman by Metallica hit, you knew it was game over. So speaking dinner, Dan, I was doing a whole big intro thing that he does. 5 minutes, Dan. We can't give you 5 minutes. We're finishing the show. Okay, this happens. It's just you, Dan. It's just you, and we're all gonna stare at you until you're here. Okay, no, I'm just kidding. At the beginning of the show, or the green room, Mike Sindler was talking about David Amram, and I wrote a poem in tribute to my experience of meeting him. Yeah, David Amram, world-class musician, traveled all over the world, and he's a teacher, but he's also a lifelong learner, and I just love those kind of spirits. He did write a book. Well, he's written several books, but I remember picking up a copy of his book, Offbeat Vibrations. It kind of entails his connections to the beat generation of writers And for those of you who don't know, we do have like a green room where before we start the live stream, we just kind of catch up. Today was, just Q&A. Since Mike is the beat poet laureate of Colorado, we had some questions his way. And whenever it comes to the beats, there's so much, like, the spotlight, the name, the notoriety, the good and the bad. There's so much to it, but David Amram is kind of a tangential character in that scene. And he's, so this is a poem I wrote for. That's a really long intro. Damn, I would have kicked myself off already. Offbeat vibrations. And all will, sorry, dang, that's squeaky. And all will ever write are rhythms in the wind. When in doubt, leave it out. Less is more, and listen, said Amram, 1,000-pound man with the weight of the world, conceived of trinkets from travels of worlds unraveled, unwound, just rocked and unlocked by the most magical of words. Yes, please, and thank you. El Aventurero, construct and compose. It's a cascading cavalcade of accolades with your supporting cast of dream waking, rhyme saying, myth slaying, music making syndicate of sublime sounds. Mr. Amram, the bohemian band man at the bandstand, composes more than music. His wild hair tumbles in tufts of world where we travel and street corner jam sessions. Buddies with beat broken bodhisattva beards beckon, bounce around from town to town to write bolder, beatnik bravado burden boleros inked on the paper napkins, breast pocket notepads in the open road. He is seen into other worlds as ever humble seeker of rhythm and knowledge, moving from college to college as the great storyteller, song seller, speller of symphonies made from music of a moment, this moment, that moment, you and me to spit any rhyme, any time well spent and always busy, as he had learned from Dizzy Gillespie. If you can sing it, you can write it. So make sure you're always singing. He proceeds boom bap as his toes tap to a scat and rap as he bursts forth and breaks out in a 12-bar blues of highly tightly wound shoes, yoga, turtles, and orange juice. All improvised lines of spontaneous prose as we tap into the great mighty pulse of the cosmos. If anyone does, Amram knows. Ever humble student sits through silence and synthesizes sacred sonic sincerity, singing shalom. So yeah, I was playing a lot with the musicality of the language there, a lot of prosody in that. All right, so was that enough stalling? Did I stall enough? Did I do good? Sorry, I don't know why
you stalled so much you summoned Tez.
I saw that.
So it worked out.
Tez, did you want to perform actually? That way so Dan can eat his dinner as well. I mean, you don't have to, by the way. Peer pressure is the best kind of pressure. Yeah. Whoa. That sounded
Hold on.
like.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, hold on. Loud and clear.
Cool. Oh, so you want to take the stage?
So you want Dan the man or me?
Oh no, you, because Dan decided to have dinner just before he's about to perform. So
okay.
You can help us stall.
I have a piece that I've been gone for a couple of weeks as I've been on travel, and then I just got back. I have a piece I finished today. Let me pop it open right now.
I made a popping
All right.
hand sound.
Here we go. I have to make it large because I can't read anymore. All right. This is titled Collective Social Feudal Fundamental Fantasies. Light title. There is no felicitous event between the self and others. This conflict is ultimately unresolvable. We're always in conflict, at worst with ourselves, seduced by manufactured consent via recruited proxy agents of privilege, social exclusionary discourses, recruited into feudal fantasies whose consumptive rationality is the marketed promise of erasure of antinomy, falling into the nursery rhyme mirror of self-inflicted, distorted thought structures that reflected reality against the oppositional representation of language. The reflected reality can never be fully represented via symbolic linguistics. Heuristic knowledge is always limited. This reflected mirror presents the first alienation, that is, alien nation. The past is a foreign country. They do things differently there. The first line of the 1953 novel, The Go-Between by L.P. Hartley, a metaphor for the way alien nation is often difficult to understand and relate to because it is so different from your inner presence. This new alien nation has its own customs, values, and beliefs. We can never fully understand it from our own perspective. In this alien nation, there is no complete or transcendental truth. The migratory processes are based on systems of associations, substitutions, and displacements. As the semiotic border at the kneeling pew of the feudal pastoral confessor, there are demands for complete symbolic narratives, an impossible recapitulation of one's comprehensive knowledge. The confessional of an impossibility, the Derridian fiat narrator of deconstruction from literary critic J. Hillis Miller, the border confessor characterized by the tendency to impose their own interpretation on the border crosser in a way that is arbitrary or authoritative. The quotidian life or its meager attainments arrived unwittingly by mis-symbolization through imaginary mental maquiladora productions while perceiving the truth of one's inner and outer life. The Derridian fiat narrator challenges the traditional notions of authorship and authority. It suggests that the meaning is not fixed, but is constantly being created and negotiated by the agents of repression and the slippery semiotic subject. The desire to discover the truth can never know the whole truth. It follows that desire is always something one does not have. It's impossible for desire to ever be satisfied. Thus, the paradox, the fiat narrator's dilemma. I did have a song, but I'm not sure I have it totally ready. Maybe Dan, are you finished your bucket of chicken?
And oh, by the way, Alien Nation, that sounds familiar. Looks like that TV show. Well, before that, it was an 80s movie.
I guess you're ready then.
He's ready. He's been listening.
Right. That was wonderful. Thank you, Tez, for helping us out there. Thanks for reading that. And yeah, we look forward to the song maybe next week. Yeah, awesome. Alrighty then, you guys hear weird noises coming through your audio speakers. I don't know, I'm saying like Macho Man for some reason. Ooh yeah, but let's go ahead and now for real this time, I think. Let's go ahead and welcome to the stage the one, the only, the man with the master plan. That's Daniel Tennessee Jr. I mean, Dan the man. Yo, what's going on, Dan?
Well, thanks, Richie. Okay, let's see if I can do something quick. Well, just to let you know, last Friday marked my 9-year anniversary of my blog. So, but let's see if I can make something up in dedication. Well, speaking of dedication, yeah, Alien Nation, or should I say Blog Nation, or Dan the Man Nation. But yeah, this is like the location, El Paso, Texas. Sounds like an annotation. Well, this ain't no, well, don't know if this is a vacation, but if you want to take a vacation, there's always Florida or California for the relaxation. Well, yeah, I would say station. Well, all we need is just a standing ovation, but it ain't no, but it kind of look like a quotation, but it ain't no probation. But yeah, I've always hear like a gangsta nation or a declaration. Well, I don't know. Half of it looks like half of it looks fascination, but the other half looks devastation. But this ain't no demonstration. But nevertheless, the viewers are like population, but we're still not decreation, but it was always the recreation. So I'm still picked spectaculation, but I ain't not resonation. But my blogs ain't no violation, but always, and the man, DTM, is the abbreviation. So yeah, my delay's a hallucination. Damn. So, well, there's always the justification for the imagination. Well, the realization is my blogs are the real deal, and the recommendation, that's a verification. Yeah, there it is. All right. Well, yeah, I'm still catching up, guys. So just to let you guys know. So yeah, I know. But here's the thing. I might do a 3-parter for the 9-year anniversary. I know we've never done this. I know I've never done this before. So
we kind of lost you there, Dan. Yeah, I don't know. You went too hard, man. Your rhymes went too hard. It broke the internet.
ah, damn.
Okay, you're good again. You're good again.
Okay. Part 1 will be the how's it going to how it started to how's it going. Part 2 will be the long listen shout outs. Part 3 will be the regular blog, and I'm gonna try to see if I can I'm still catching up on I'm trying to catch up on the scenes of my poetry slam. So yeah, just to let you guys know. So I'm still heavily behind schedule on March, April, May, June. Yeah, you know what I mean. And I gotta round up all the special edition interviews from the State Line Music Series. So we'll keep you guys posted with the updates come available. And yeah, happy anniversary to me. Yep, there it is. Read it and weep it. Just keep following me on Instagram. I'm still doing some promotions and some recaps. I apologize, I forgot to post one tonight for BWOMS, but let me see if I can do that tomorrow morning for Rosewood. So, and more promotions are on the way, and there are some recaps from last Saturday and a couple of others. So, just follow me on Instagram. But I'm still catching up on Facebook. And I'm gonna do some dedicate, and you can still follow me on X, which I'll explain about that later. Okay, but most importantly, find Dan the Man's Weekly on YouTube. Don't forget the hashtag. All right, guys. All right, looks like we'll do yet another A Child's Calendar by John Updike for September, which will be the last. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next Monday. All right, Richie, let's take it away.
All right, Dan with updates on updates and updates. That's some, you know, that's how I am sometimes when I write about the ways I think about the ways I think about the ways I think about the ways I think. You know what I mean? Anyway, I'm gonna meet you, Dan, really quick. All right, because it always sounds like I'm going to be a windstorm there at the end. Yeah, thanks for closing us out. You know, that is a consistent for us. And again, so grateful to have you on board with that. And I feel you. I feel like I'm always playing catch up as well. So check out Dan the Man's Weekly. You don't need the card. You got it memorized. Dan the Man's Weekly on YouTube. That's it. That's all you got to promote. Anyway, guys, thanks for tuning in. Shout out to everyone who spent some time with us today on the live stream and participated in the chat. Always grateful for that. If you are catching the replay, let us know that you checked out the show. Leave a comment. As always, when you like, you subscribe, you do all those things. It helps push it out to more people, and that's always the best for all of us. And if not, you know, we're still doing our thing, hanging out on a Monday, sharing words, sharing ideas, and in these words, you know, our hopes, our dreams, ambitions, fears, everything between. I love it. Just everything about being human, and you know, our ups and downs together. I'm happy to be here every week, you know, and even I'm not hosting every single week. Shout out to Kit and then everyone else who's helped host along the way. You know, we'll be back next Monday, so be on the lookout. I had a mortal moment this past weekend. I got sick. What? I don't know. I feel like I never get sick because I'm doing event after event after event. My body shut down, and thankfully I didn't have any events. But I'm like, I feel energized finally this Monday, and like I think I'm just feeling grateful for whatever reason. That's why I'm feeling this way. So anyway, for the live stream for tonight, for the end of August. Thank you, everyone. We're going to be back in September. As always, be on the lookout for that sign up link on our link tree for the live stream. My name is Rich. You can follow me online at Dead Wall Reveries. And from there, this is the end of the live stream. Peace. Have a good night, everyone.